guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a lightened up version of everyone's probably favorite Italian dish, which is chicken Alfredo. Now, in the beginning of January, I made a video asking you what you wanted to see lined up. What dish you love so much, but it's kind of rich and a little bit naughty that you wanted to see lined up so that you can have it, you can eat it more often. So the dish I chose is obviously Alfredo, and the viewer that made the suggestion is I am 3 days grace 20. There you go. So I'm going to make this dish for you today, and it could not be easier to do. Now the first thing you want to do is get a big pot, fill it with water, put some salt in there as always, and get that come up to a boil because that takes the longest. The recipe itself is super easy. Now let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. You're going to need some lean white meat ground chicken breast. You're going to need some chicken stock, some garlic, a little flour, some reduced fat cream cheese, and I'll talk about this in just a minute, some fresh parsley, Parmigiano Reggiano, salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. Now again, get your pot getting ready, get it to boil for the pasta. And of course you're going to need some fettuccine, but that's back there, it's going to cook, so we're not going to worry about that. A couple of things. Now, if you've already watched my classic fettuccine Alfredo, then you'll know that I used chicken breast as far as instead of using ground chicken. I'm using ground chicken for two reasons. Number one, it's a really healthy sort of a bumps up obviously the flavor, and also by using ground chicken breast instead of chicken breast that I then cut up, you get a lot more, it fills your plate a whole lot more, so you can use less pasta, right? More protein, less carbs. Now, number two, instead of using a whole bunch of heavy cream, I'm going to use some chicken stock and then finish it with some reduced fat cream cheese, which I know might sound a little bit strange, but trust me, a little bit goes a long way, and it gives you that creaminess, that richness without a lot of calories, because the amount that I'm using only has a couple hundred calories, and this feeds 3 to 4 people, so that's brilliant. Okay, in this pan I have a few tablespoons of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and to it I'm going to add in my ground chicken breast. You want to get that really, really nice and hot. Break it apart with your wooden spoon and let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes or until it's mostly cooked through. And that looks good. It's almost all the way cooked through, but not yet. So now I'm going to hit it with some seasoning, and I'm going to do it very simple with salt and pepper. That's it. And then to this, I am going to grate in some garlic. You can finely chop it if you want to, but I'm just grating it in to make my life a little easier. There you go. Now I'm going to just give this a stir and let it cook for just a couple minutes. I want the garlic to become sort of really fragrant, and I want the ground chicken to cook all the way through. That looks great. The chicken's cooked all the way. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Now this is a perfect time for you to put in your fettuccine in your boiling water, because it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to cook, and this only has about 10 minutes left, so perfect timing. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of flour, and I'm doing that because the flour is going to help the chicken stock thicken, giving you the idea that you have thick cream in there when you really don't. You have chicken stock which is lean, barely any calories at all, but you're going to make it super creamy with the flour and with the cream cheese. Perfect. You want to let the raw flour taste cook out, so just give it a stir and cook it for about 30 seconds. That looks good. And now I'm going to add in some chicken stock. There you go. And I have this over medium-high heat, by the way. And now all I'm going to do is bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it thickens, and then we'll finish it off. Now after a few minutes, your chicken stock will thicken, and it's kind of mimicking the heavy cream consistency. That's what we're shooting for. So now to make this creamy and rich tasting, you're going to add in a little reduced fat cream cheese, and it's not a whole lot at all, but it makes a world of a difference. Now all I'm going to do is with my wooden spoon kind of break it apart and just mix it through and cook it until it's completely melted. Now doesn't that just look absolutely incredible? You would never know that you don't have a cup of cream in there, and then you only have about 4 tablespoons of reduced fat cream cheese, which I'm not a calorie counter by any means whatsoever, but that comes to about I don't know, less than 300 calories in cream cheese. I mean, that's amazing. And to feed 4 people, it's a winner in my book. Okay, so now to this, I'm just going to turn it completely off. I'm over it. I'm done. I need to eat. I want to season it with some salt and pepper, not too heavy on the salt, because we did season the chicken earlier, and I don't want to go too salty. I'm going to put in some fresh chopped parsley. Oh, that looks so good, and it smells, heavenly. And now I'm just gonna put in my cooked pasta that I just cooked for about 8 to 9 minutes, and then just drained. Oh, look at that. And now it's gonna get a little more creaminess and a little more cheesiness with some good quality, what was that? Some good quality Parmigiano. And you could put in as much or as little as you want. Like I always say, it's completely optional. It's up to you. But I would say 3 to 4 tablespoons should be plenty. Because it does, if you buy the good stuff and not the stuff that's on the floor in the factory where they actually make the real cheese, then you don't need a lot. You just need a little tiny bit because the flavor is really potent and strong. It's fabulous. Here we go. Okay, and give this one more big stir. And then just put it in a big serving dish. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. Look at that. It's got all the creaminess you could possibly want without using a touch of heavy cream. That is brilliant. And you're only using 8 ounces of pasta for 4 people. I mean, that's amazing, right? Normally, you would use a pound of pasta for 4 people, but you're using half that because you have the ground chicken to just bump it up so that your guests don't have like this much food. They actually have like a full plate, but that's not all pasta. Brilliant. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit on this plate because I do have guests and I don't wanna be rude and eat out of the serving dish because that would just not be nice. But as always, the test is in the taste. Here you go. Smells good. That's perfect. It's creamy, it's rich, it's delicious, but it's got a fraction of the fat as the original, which don't get me wrong, I love, 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 love it. But now I can eat it more often and guilt-free. That's it. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. Go to www.laureninthekitchen.com to get the recipe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.